Good morning, fifth graders, and welcome to the second week of distance learning. It is Monday, April 6th, and this will probably be a little bit longer video than what you are accustomed to seeing. Just there's a lot of announcements, a lot of things that I want to talk about, both from last week and from this week. For last week, let's kind of talk about last week. I am extremely impressed and happy with the amount of people who were able to log on and be consistent with our 10 to 3 time frame in terms of finishing your brain games and allowing me to mark you as present for the day. In the note that I sent out through Schoology today, hopefully you guys will get that if you haven't got it yet. I know there's been a little bit of a delay in Schoology Messenger, but you'll see that for last week, guys, our grades are simply going to be relying on the fact of who logged in and who attempted to do some things each day. And that could be as simple as completing the brain game. So most of you will receive full credit for last week, even if you didn't get some of the Think Central assignments and Prodigy questions done. But guys, I do want you to understand that we are expecting you to get those things done as we move forward here. And this week, we will probably ramp up those expectations. So please try to get onto Schoology, onto Think Central and onto Prodigy and be doing those things. And if, again, you don't have those login informations or you're not sure how those are supposed to work, please message me, email me, whatever that needs to be. And I've done my best to try and respond to everybody within a couple of minutes of them asking questions. So please make sure you are doing that and taking advantage of that situation. Those are great practice problems, if nothing else. But we are definitely trying to put enough things in front of you to keep you moving forward with the standards that we have for you. Over the weekend, there were some people who were sharing some concerns about not getting into Schoology, or when they logged into Schoology, it was telling them they weren't enrolled in any courses. I'm 90% sure, guys, that the situation was probably the fact that Schoology was probably doing a bunch of updates. They went from 10,000 users at a time to 1 million users at a time last week. And with that uptick and that increased amount of users at one time, I think they just struggled to be able to handle that that capacity. So they were trying to upgrade and update, I believe, would be my thought with that. You should be able to check that today. And obviously, if you're watching this video, you were able to get into Schoology today. Guys, the routine is going to be the same moving forward. I really do like the fact that the brain game is a great way for me to check on one list and make sure everybody got in and have the opportunity to show me that you logged into Schoology for the day. That will still, again, only be part of our grade as that completion. Again, not based on how many questions you got right or wrong. I have shifted a couple people's answers depending on labels and all that kind of stuff. And I will continue to do that. But just be aware that it's more about the completion of that brain game, just so I can give you credit for having been in class that day. That should still be the first thing you do when you log on to Schoology, just so I know that you are there and that you are taking advantage of the time that we are giving you from 10 to 3. A couple of you have been really logging in between 3 and 3:30, and that's fine, guys, but I cannot promise that I'm going to be checking my computer, checking those updates at that point. And I would really like to we're supposed to get our attendance for the day submitted by 3 o'clock each afternoon. So just make sure that that's the first thing you do when you log on each day. We'll probably plan on a couple of Zoom sessions each week moving forward. I didn't really like the 4 different Zoom times. It wasn't hard. It wasn't something, but the way the progressions worked out last week, I ended up with, I think, 25 to 30 students in the first Zoom and about 8 to 10 in the second Zoom, and then literally 2 or 3 people in the last 2 Zooms. So I will probably set up 2 Zoom time meetings when we do them, and I'll try to get you that login information either the night before or very early the morning of, so that we have plenty of time. Tomorrow, I'm thinking like a Zoom at about 10:30 and a Zoom at about 1:30, and just those 2 Zoom sessions. Make whichever one you can, depending on what class you are in, and we can try to handle it at that point. I will, again, send out those links either tonight or tomorrow morning really, really early, so you have those in your possession and you are ready to log in. I think that Zoom has been working really well for us. I think it's a great way for us to see everybody and make contact and make sure that we are all still fine, and a great way for us to ask questions if we need to, staying on afterwards. So Monday, today, then probably the biggest thing I would think on everybody's plate at this point is the science. We're kind of wrapping up our planet project right now, and I know there are varying degrees and levels to what we were able to accomplish and the expectations, and some people are more comfortable with the technology and others are not. So again, very lenient with this, guys. The number one key is to share it with me. Okay, with me. I want to make sure that I can see. Oops, lost my light. That I can see your information and that I can comment on it. If you were able to share it with grade 5, that's awesome. And if you didn't, I should be able to go in and enable grade 5 to be able to see it as well. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. As soon as it gets shared with me, making sure that everybody has that capability of being able to see it. Because our activity for today is just basically like an art gallery. We're going to go around and we are going to look at other people's presentations and make some positive comments. My goal is that everybody gets a chance to see and view 5 other people's presentations and makes comments about them. Positive comments, obviously, guys. And that's all science is going to be for today is trying to view some of the other planets and some of the other information. Maybe coming up with 5 facts that you didn't know about other people's planets, 1 per presentation, something along those lines, that can either be shared directly on their presentation or can be brought back to our discussion board that should be posted in your science folder for today. I don't care where you post that, just trying to see that everybody's getting in and checking and seeing those things. If you have not completed your science project yet, guys, unfortunately, you will probably not receive the points as full credit because the due date was today, 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. So I'm going to be checking that to make sure who's all shared it with me at that point, and hopefully we are at 100%. That'd be great. The rest of the day, we are going to start learning a little bit more new information, especially in my on-level math class. We did a lot of review last week, so a lot of the things we put on there were things that we had started a couple of weeks ago, and it was more refreshing and reviewing. So today, starting today, we are going to be learning a new lesson, and I will tell you, the guys, that this lesson is a challenging one, and we are literally going to stay for the entire week, all 4 days, on this same concept. I will probably not put a Think Central assignment on there for today, but you can still check Think Central. That'd be a good habit to get into, checking Think Central each day. I probably will wait until tomorrow to post that assignment, and you will have, again, the entire week to finish it. And then obviously you still have the expectation that you are getting in and answering about 50 questions on Prodigy for the week. We do only have 4 school days this week. Friday is not something where we will post any new information, but it's still a day, obviously, when you're going to be at home and might have some extra time. If you're not done with something, you can definitely take advantage of that and finish anything that you didn't do on Friday or Saturday. So remember that I'm going to probably check for completion and check for the fact that you are getting those things all done probably the next weekend or Monday before class starts for the next week. So that's kind of how those are going to look. You should see some updated information on Campus Portal about your grades. 1 third quarter grade should be posted, and then fourth quarter grades should be started. And again, to start this out, guys, we are very much going to be just doing a lot of completion grades and a lot of situations where please participate, do these kinds of things to the best of our ability. We can't state how those tests are going to work yet. We're still in discussions with that, or how the grades moving forward are going to look. So I can't really give you any new information when it comes to that. What else do I want to share with you this morning? Like I said, guys, the routine from last week was fantastic. I don't want to change anything about that. Continue to log in as close to 10 o'clock as you can. Continue to work, though, at your own pace and get things accomplished and finished when it works best for you. If lunchtime and that segment of time right after lunch works best for you, then by all means, make that your work time. If you want to do Fitz's stuff in the morning and my stuff in the afternoon, I'm fine with that. One other piece we should talk about is I know Fitz sent out a message to everybody and thanking them for sending messages, and thank you for guys for doing that. It's been a really difficult time for her, obviously, with all this stuff going on, plus the stuff that happened with her husband. It's not an ideal situation for her, especially. I do have information for her logins at this point, so if there's a login question or a question of how to make things happen, I should be able to help you a little bit more this week. So hopefully that will go a little smoother. I know that there was more frustration with some of her stuff last week than mine, but I should be able to help you at least in a little bit. As always, guys, ask questions, please, whether that be through Schoology Messenger, whether that be through my personal or school email, whatever is going to work to get my information back to you as quick as possible. I am literally staring at 2 or 3 different computer screens right now and trying to respond as quickly as I can to every question that gets brought up. Realize there might be a little bit of a delay in those messages being sent, especially these group messages that we're sending out through Schoology. We are realizing that there's about a 2-hour delay from the entry point to the receiving point. So we'll see how that plays out, if that improves over the course of this week. But do not hesitate to ask. I can set up a Zoom session and we can talk face to face as individuals as well. Just say, Mr. Mays, can you please set up a Zoom session for me? And we can talk about it. And I will say math this week, especially, guys, is going to be a little bit more challenging with the new concept, with what we are covering, especially my on-level class. My accelerated class, we started learning new stuff already last week, and so there shouldn't be a huge change with that, but just be aware that, again, I'm here for questions, especially between 10 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If you do have a question before that, I'm at school at 7:30 every morning for sure, if not 7 o'clock. So you can send me something earlier than 10 o'clock, but just be aware that I'm going to be working on making my videos and putting new content on there for future days. So just be aware of that. I might not be able to respond as quickly that way. So thank you guys again for a great last week. I expect even better and more efficient work this week. Again, our goal is not to just put random stuff in front of you. It is to put productive stuff in front of you. So if we put something on Think Central, the questions I'm adding on Prodigy are all very much content related questions. You should notice that as you see Prodigy stuff. It should be something in which you are seeing the questions matching up with what we are doing. Now, there isn't much for this round of composite shapes, but hopefully you'll be able to understand those through 4 days of lessons, because we are going to take a full 4 days on that. All right. Thank you, guys. I look forward to seeing you through a Zoom probably tomorrow sometime. If, that opportunity will be there. Or if you have any questions today, please feel free to shoot me a message or say, Mr. Mays, please set up a personal Zoom with me. Thank you, guys, and have a great week, great day for sure, and we'll talk to you later.